No one in the world was ever supposed to see what's inside this envelope, but we're gonna look at it. Hi, I'm Joanna, and I buy weird things off the internet. One weird thing you can buy off the internet is a stranger's diary. You can just go on eBay and buy the diary of a complete stranger. And that's what I did. It came in the mail, we're gonna look at it. It's very floral. This diary is from 1997, which is not that long ago, but smells quite musty. I was really excited to find this diary because you rarely see diaries for sale that were written in the 90s. This is a rare gem. This diary was only $3, and we'll talk about why later in the video, but that's pretty cheap for a diary on eBay. A diary is where you write all your secrets. It's very private, no one is supposed to read it. The thoughts can be very raw. What are we going to find in this diary? Will there be drama, romance, murder? Probably not murder, but you just don't know when you read a stranger's diary. You could find anything. Let's read it. I'm about to read the very first entry, 1997. I was alive, some of you weren't. September 11th, 1997. I've had this journal since before Ashley was born and have started to write in it many times, but never did. Feel like I have to now because I have no one else to talk to. Cameron works, eats supper, watches TV while I clean up, and then he goes to bed. Nicole works, takes care of Ashley, and spends most of her spare time with Bill. She's so deep in debt since the accident and just had 6 checks bounce. Doesn't seem to bother her as much as me. Wish she could get herself, especially finances, straightened out. Dan just called. He and I argued because he won't try to keep his bills and papers in order. Just had collection agency send letter about unpaid music bill. Guess I need to stay out of both their situations and let them handle it. But Dan gets calls here and both still have some mail and bank statements sent here. Just gave Nicole $100 to help her. Bought 2 books. Just paid Dan's school almost $1,000. $100 book. Gave him $20. Glad we could help out, but couldn't have if we hadn't sold our Putnam funds. Paid $1,100 for car. Daddy $1,000 we owed him. $500 for dishwasher. It sounds like this is a woman with a husband and 2 adult children. Dan and Nicole are her adult children and Cameron is her husband. It also sounds like she has a granddaughter that she takes care of. She says she's writing in the diary because she has no one else to talk to. And often when I write in my diary, it is because I feel like I have things I can't say to anyone or shouldn't say to anyone. So I can definitely relate to that feeling. I'm already feeling really sad for this diary writer. It sounds like she's very isolated and she's not getting the support that she needs. It sounds like her husband doesn't engage with her very much, and it sounds like her kids are struggling and she wants to help them and she tries to help them, but you know, you gotta figure out your own life. There's only so much you can do as a parent to help your kids find their path. I'm sure it's hard to watch them struggle and make mistakes. Angela just lost David Labor Day weekend, same time and way as Princess Di. So glad we saw him 2 weeks before. We went to Wet n Wild a few weeks ago and had a great time. Plan to go to Chuck E. Cheese this Monday in Orlando. Tuesday night is open house at preschool. Got to decide what preschool is going to do. I'm so mixed up with what I want to do next year. Would love to stay if things could stay the way they were a few years ago, but don't want to work a lot more days and hours. I think that this person lives in Florida because they mention Orlando. She also talks about not knowing what to do with her job. It sounds like she may work at a preschool. She doesn't know if she wants to keep working. She says, I'm so mixed up with what I want to do next year. I think that's a very relatable feeling. October 4th, 1997. Glenda called tonight, less than a week before they were going to the falls, to see if we were coming. I told her I thought she would have called earlier if she had wanted us, but she said we were supposed to call her. Ted and Sarah are going to be there. Don't really think she was planning on us coming. She said Dave and Angie just rented a nice big house. Says everything is going real good for them. Would like to have gone, but don't really feel we should now. We probably won't go. Cameron is very busy at work, and I really don't think it's the right time to go, or they would have called earlier. Lord, only you know if I should have called or she should have called earlier. Guess things happen for a reason, so I guess that means we aren't supposed to go. Okay, we've got some drama. One of her friends called her less than a week before a trip and invited her. That is a little sketchy. Definitely sounds like a weird last-minute invite. She's questioning herself, should she have called and asked? I feel like making plans with your friends just gets harder and harder and harder for the rest of your life, and it's like, who should invite who? Do you even really want to go? It's hard to be social. November 11th, 1997. Cameron and I went to see Lori Morgan tonight. I surprised him with tickets, $32.50. Would have been nice to get a compliment. Wore purple uncomfortable outfit. Went to Rhoda's 60th birthday supper Saturday. Without compliment then either. Never. She's upset because she wore a purple, uncomfortable outfit. She was probably looking hot, and her husband did not give her a compliment. It makes me so sad that her husband doesn't appreciate her. She cooks dinner, she cleans up, she dresses up, and he just watches TV and goes to bed and goes to work. I wish I could go back to 1997 and tell this woman she looks amazing in her uncomfortable purple outfit and she's killing it. March 26th. 1999. I'm sitting here watching 48 Hours about how people are losing their homes and everything in tornadoes and mudslides. It bothers me that I feel so bad. Cameron went on to bed. Nicole called, doesn't want to get with me tomorrow. She's trying to lose weight. Took Ashley to the circus. I think it's great Nicole is trying to watch her weight. She and Bill broke up. It hurts so much that Cameron never wants to spend any time with me or compliment me at all. If he only knew, but guess it wouldn't change. I've tried to tell him for 32 years, and it hasn't made any difference. It really hurts bad. I sit and cry so many nights when he goes to bed. This is incredibly heartbreaking to read. She's been married for 32 years. She feels like her husband doesn't want to spend time with her, doesn't ever compliment her. She takes care of everyone, and nobody takes care of her. That is the story of so many women in the world. August 1st, 2000. I feel like such a failure. Don't know what I should do about working. I'm keeping Ashley for the summer. Need to keep Ashley when there's holidays. Want to be able to cook for Daddy, who's not feeling well right now. Want to be able to help him, and I can't do all this and work too, but we need the money so bad. We are between $6,000 and $7,000 in debt with just credit card, and house payment went up $20 a month today. Cameron's gone to bed, and I'm sitting here feeling sorry for myself because we have no communication or nothing in common together. I feel so bad that he's working and mowing yards to pay for the boat. We went out Saturday in the boat and broke the alternator belt. Used Nicole's jet ski to pull boat to the other side of the river. I feel like her husband is always going to bed and she's sitting up at night feeling bad. Not only does she take care of her husband, her kids, her granddaughter, she also has to take care of her elderly father. That's so many generations of people depending on this one woman who's about to break. She feels like she has to work on top of that. She may be nearing retirement age and she still has to work. They have debt on top of everything. Her marriage is just not fulfilling. She says there's no communication. They have nothing in common. I'm so curious how they even got together in the first place. This is also just a reminder that owning a boat is usually never a good financial decision. This is not a finance advice channel, or is it? I know life in Florida is probably really boat-centric, so I shouldn't judge. Taking Ashley to the mall tomorrow to see Hanson after school. Then she has gym practice. Hanson's performing at the mall. The year 2000. August 27th, 2000. Whatever made me think my husband might want to go on a trip with me for 10 days. I'm sure he would rather spend 10 days away from me instead of going. We shouldn't spend the money anyway. If he went, I'm sure it would just be to shut me up. How does he think we are ever going to be able to travel together so much if he retires? Don't know about Daddy's health either. Wish Cameron and I had a closer relationship. She's worried about retirement because that means spending a lot more time with her husband who doesn't seem to want to spend time with her. They're talking about going on a trip and it sounds like he doesn't want to go. Can you imagine being married to someone who doesn't want to spend time with you? I don't know how she's functioning. Her dad's health is getting worse. Her husband doesn't seem to like her at all or support her in any way. She spends a lot of time giving childcare to her granddaughter. I don't know how she's doing it. What's gonna happen with her marriage? Will her adult children figure their lives out? Is she gonna be stretched too thin? March 22nd, 2005. I don't understand how Cameron could ignore me. I've tried so hard the last few days to let him know. He never wants to talk or spend time with me. I don't know what he wants either. He makes me feel like a nothing. I know I'm not supposed to try and please someone else. I'm not happy. I keep trying for him to relate to me. 39 years in July. I feel we are never going to have the marriage I've dreamed and prayed for. Went to Larry and Jenny's wedding last week. Later that night, he said I looked good in the pantsuit. What a surprise, but not during the wedding. So there is a 5-year gap between entries here. And back in the year 2000, our diary writer was already really struggling with her marriage, and it just continued on for 5 more years. And they're still really struggling. And they've been together for 39 years. We're just getting the little snippets, but I'm wondering, what are her husband's good good qualities. What drew her to him in the first place? Because this sounds terrible. And my heart breaks for her with every entry. She did finally get a compliment from her husband when she dressed up, and it's a really big deal because she wrote it down. All she wants is for her husband to say she looks nice when she dresses up, and he won't do it. And the first time she complained about not getting a compliment was 8 years ago. And in the 8 years she's had this diary, he's complimented her one time. Nicole and Jeff got moved a few weeks ago. They stayed with us for 5 weeks. It went better than I expected. Ashley wants me to pick her up each afternoon. I'm having a real hard time about work. We are so short of people, at least 4 to 5 people short. Makes it really hard on all of us. Cameron and I are trying to get some things done here. Hopefully he will paint Dan's room while I'm gone. He's good about helping. He helped Nicole and Jeff very much during the move. It hasn't helped that I've been sick for almost a month. Viruses. 103 degrees, went to hospital, spent week in bed. Al's coming over to golf with Cameron next month. Nicole will be on a cruise that week, so Ashley will be with us. Here she is listing a good quality about her husband and that he's helpful. He helps their daughter move. This was the very last thing she wrote in the diary, and I feel like this really speaks to the whole heartbreaking tale. She talks about how she's been really sick. We've seen throughout the entire diary that she's been stretched too thin. She's working at a stressful job while trying to take care of her entire family. Of course she got sick. She got so sick that she had to go to the hospital, and she spent a week in bed. After she's been sick, she's saying her husband is gonna go play golf and she's going to take care of her granddaughter while her daughter goes on a cruise. And that's all we get. That's the end of the story. Most of the pages in this diary are blank, and that's why it only cost $3. I could tell from how the pages were written that there was still a story in here. Turns out it's the saddest story I've ever read in a diary. Did she stop writing because she passed away, or did she keep living and just not write about it? I wish this woman could have gotten the appreciation that she deserved. I think diaries are often for writing down the bad things, helping process your feelings when things are stressful and sad. I hope in writing down her struggles here, she found a little bit of relief. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and turn on notifications. And don't forget to check out my other videos because I have lots of other Stranger's Diary videos that you're going to want to watch if you haven't already.